everybody. I'd like to call to order the
Seriously, I have it on my computer.
Committee on Economic Development Committee.
Mr. Steingart.
Here.
Mr. Sorensen.
Here.
Mr. Ruiz.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
He's here.
Mrs. Labuda.
There's no presentations, discussions, or resolutions, so we'll go right to,
Motion to
what?
dismiss.
Can't be that
To
quick.
adjourn.
I said dismiss.
Jennifer?
I know what I said.
Yeah.
Good morning to everybody. You received my summary in your packet. I looked at it this morning. I really had nothing to add. It was comprehensive, so I'm here if there's any questions on it. If not, thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, thank you.
You may be pretty close, G.
Yes.
but-
Huh?
I don't know that it has to do with this piece in itself, but the IDA in itself. When it comes to millennium monies, is the IDA the only place for the county that gets it? And is there any way to reallocate some of the millennium monies towards, let's say, cooperative extension and its ag piece?
Currently, the Millennium money goes to the Funding Corporation, who administers it. And right now, 100% of it is put into a loan fund. That's where it is right now.
Is there a way to do anything with that instead of it just being a loan, being it a grant to some processes for ag?
Well, I'd say if what we're doing with that money changes, it would have to go through the board, the Funding Corporation board. We
So-
have a lot of latitude on what we can do with it,
You do?
yes, but currently it is allocated to
And who makes the decisions about that? The funding
corporation, yes, they administer
board.
that money, the board.
Which is basically mirrored of the IDA.
Right, yes.
The same board members.
Mhm.
So it's a general loan fund, not an ag revolving loan fund?
It's not an
'Cause I know
ag-
you
It's
have
not
an
an
ag
ag
revolving
fund.
loan fund, right, through the
Yes.
IDA?
Yes,
Mhm.
ag business.
So it could potentially, by petitioning the board, get some of those monies released for more that has to do with ag and sustainability or small farm or niche farms or something along that line?
Well, I can't talk for the board, but that's where it would have to go.
Okay.
But there already is an
Thank you.
ag revolving loan fund. Is
But
that
it's
being
loan.
accessed as well?
Right now, it all goes to Catskill Stills. It was to buy the distillery equipment. So eventually, when that money comes back and there's enough sitting there, we'll loan that out also.
But
Catskill Brewery?
Catskill Stills,
Distillery, right?
a
Yes.
distillery, yeah,
Dancing, so that,
yes,
okay,
yeah, for
But-
the equipment they have.
thank you.
But just to comment as far as that is the IDA and the Funding Corp realistically has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the ag community just between the Red Meat facility and now gonna be the food hub. So it's certainly been a big advocate for the ag community.
And I recognize that and appreciate it. I'm wondering, have we gotten any further in that piece with the red meat and the food hub?
Well, the red meat, hopefully by the end of the year, the building will be up. So, and we are also buying equipment for inside the building.
And what's
So that's
the
moving
step-
along.
And have we engaged a person to run it?
No. We have restrictions from the Department of Commerce when we can go out for that, and it's not until after the building's up.
You can't interview or
Correct.
ask or anything.
That's
Right.
federal guidelines that tells
Yeah.
them when and when they can't.
Yeah.
We're working on an RFP that we're gonna send out, but we can't send it out yet.
That's right.
Okay. And the food hub status?
We're leasing space now. We have an agreement with Ginsburg for the next 3 months until we can finalize an agreement.
I went to a meeting at the Cooperative Extension the other night, and it had to do with the farms, and that's what's stirring my curiosity. And at that meeting, you were there.
Yeah, well, it was the public meeting for the county's agricultural and farmland protection plan, so it was the, yeah.
And one of the questions, one of the gentlemen in the audience was from Mamakating?
Yes.
So, he was looking to how he can get his product and where, and I told him I'd try to help him in that process, so I'm wondering whether, because he doesn't want to travel to New York City, so there's a great stimulus for him going to the food hub, and I didn't know if anything has gotten more solid.
Well, the lease is a big move that we have the space now and we have to finalize, so.
And then you'll be coming out with, the way the process would work, whether farmers deliver or whether there's on-farm
That's gonna
pickup
be
and
the
all that.
operator.
That's up to the
That's the
operator, we have no
operator.
control over
Right.
that.
But that will come,
With,
They're gonna control that, you know, there was certainly a thought at the beginning how they're gonna do it, that, it's really, the food hub, the way it's gonna operate is really, it's software mostly that's gonna really hook up the buyers and the sellers, and they're really the transportation hub in between. If it's product that you know, is perishable, they're most likely gonna bring it to the food hub and then they'll distribute from there. If it's not perishable, there may be arrangements, and here again, this is all gonna be up to the operator, that they may be able to pick up, but if it's perishable, the producer is gonna have to bring it to the hub at this point. But this is all gonna be up to, you know, the person, the operator.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be great, I think it really is gonna help the ag community, greatly. So, it's a network, is really what it is, and that's, I think the hardest part in the ag community is it's so hard to produce your product and it's so time consuming, that having the marketing skills and the ability to get it there and then the bookkeeping to do it, this really alleviates that, so. I'm very encouraged, I think it's gonna be great for the county.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah,
I wanna thank you for those.
there's also proposed the refrigeration piece, is that what you said before, for perishables?
No, I said that at this point, their initial plan was that the perishables, they were not going, they're gonna have to be brought to the food hub because it could be more than a day in transit going, so they would bring it there and then they would distribute it.
And so was there any discussion on the washing and packing piece, like if a farmer brought
Yeah.
produce there, or?
That's, the best of my knowledge, that's not part of what they're proposing.
Okay. So it has to be something that they can bring to the food hub that can be bagged up somehow and sent down without that whole piece? Yeah, I'm confused about that.
It's still going in Bridgeville, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good location.
It's a
That's where the
perfect
lease-
location.
The lease is in, you know, the old plastic
Oh,
space,
Sullivan.
Shelburne.
Yeah.
That's where it's going.
It's a perfect spot, it's right after 17, it's a good advertisement for the county.
Is
It's got
this
great
food hub
visibility.
gonna be operating similar to the other food hubs in the Mid-Hudson and, you know, collaborating with them?
Again, that's up to them.
It's up to Ginsburg.
No,
the
I'm sure
operator.
they've had discussions, I'm just wondering if.
It's gonna be part of Ginsburg's network of distribution.
I'm sorry if I sidelined everything, but going to
No,
that thing
so
the
in-
other day
I'm
was
just-
very
In other
interesting.
areas where they operate the food hubs, when the farmer brings the produce there, I know Kingston co-packers, for example, they'll prepare it for the market. Whether it has to be weighed, graded, washed, packed, wrapped.
There's a facility in Ulster County that I know does that. I really can't answer for the
Okay.
operator. How are they gonna answer?
This is something you would have to ask Ginsburg.
I get
You
that,
know.
Gene, thank you. They must have had discussions, I'm just trying to
I'm
get
not
a
hiding
sense.
anything.
I'm just getting a sense.
Thank you, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I apologize.
So you don't have to
I'm glad
You don't
apologize.
have to apologize.
Mark?
Yeah, so the summary's there, any questions? A couple of just, small business loans we did, last couple of months, so we did Yanni's, we did Fat Boys, we've done Apple's expansion, we've done, Riverside Remedies out in Calico as well. We teamed up with the IDA to do that one, and so we've been focusing on getting some of these small businesses up and going. We have 2 more in the docket, that are applying now, going through the process of, you know, getting their business plan ready and that sort of thing. We've been working with, I'm sure Fred will touch on, the grant that the county got, micro assistance program to help get the word out on that as well, and so that's where we are. We're gonna spend the bulk of next year really working on, identifying and helping develop shovel-ready sites along 17. And I know I mentioned that 100 times, but I'll keep reminding you, that's what we're gonna do for 2015, because
I do
we
have a
really
question.
we really need some sites. In that regard, there's been 2 developers that have come forward with sites right off of 17 that have expressed interest. So as you know, whether we're gonna try and get CFA grants or USDA or whatever, we certainly have to have a willing participant, if you will, and you have to have skin in the game, and so they'll be giving up their property and investing in the overall project as well, and have to see some type of return on investment down the road. Hopefully, if something happens in the next week or two, that'll stimulate that conversation a little bit further. But certainly, we're gonna continue to go after that, and hopefully we can get one or two sites that we can finally have a shovel-ready status on in that 2-year window. And the reason for this is our competitors are really stepping their game up significantly. So for those of you who may not be aware, about a year ago, Orange County dedicated somewhere around $1 million towards their shovel-ready site program. They've already gotten 2 large projects as a result of that they've helped, and they're gonna double down on the program. So they're gonna continue to invest in that. We're at different places, obviously. We've done a lot of projects, we've got a lot of fees to work with, and a lot of revenue. We spoke to Ira about it, and Ira and I are gonna try and maximize, I guess, the relationship with the law firm and
Wilson
maximize
Elser.
Wilson Elser, and try to, see what we can do to advance that forward, and working with planning and our partners to do that. We'd like to certainly have something going in the next, realistically, in the next 2 years, something that's done, ready, approved, subdivided, and.
We have 2 months left.
With
So
that,
we better get up
but
there.
we
We better get up there.
We get the catalyst going, that's good, but at least, the hard part is the approvals and all of that, so hopefully we can get that done. I think we should be able to do it.
I do have a question. If you can't answer me, I will understand. You're dealing with a New York City chef interested in establishing a chocolate factory.
Yes.
If you can give me a name, I would like that. If you can't, I'll understand that.
Um,
Only because I spoke to somebody over the summer and told him to get in touch with you.
I probably shouldn't do that.
So don't then. That's
but-
fine.
But I will tell you a little bit about it, because it's interesting.
As
So
long as it goes in Hurleyville, I'll be happy.
that's one of the areas. It's one of the areas.
That's why I'm saying.
And Livingston Manor is the other area.
Woohoo!
So-
Let us win!
You guys can battle each other, but
No
they're-
politics in here.
They're putting together their business plan right now. And it comes down to a couple of things.
I don't
One,
represent Hurleyville
is
either.
the community the right place for the type of project that they're talking about? And 2, are there other things that add to the equation? There's a lot of things going on in Hurleyville.
That's
They're
what I'm
right next to
saying.
the college. There's
Yeah.
Startup New York possibilities. So those are the 2 things at play here, and there may be even a third if he decides, Narrowsburg is the place or whatever. So we don't like to, we're not shaping where that goes. We say, here are the options. Go out and explore and let us know when you're ready to go. When your business plan's done, we'll help you wherever you decide to go.
I'm
So
good
that's
with
kinda
that.
where we're at.
Thank
But
you.
it's a neat project. It's someone that's been in accounting for a long time,
Yeah.
8 years. And so it'll help towards the food and beverage and spirits and everything else that's going on. I am gonna visit another spirit producer in the Hudson Valley. So I get to kind of try to take one from another area and bring it back to Sullivan County. Very successful. Their product is, their product is all over the country, 9 states. They're distributing all over the place, and so they're looking for a place to come and bottle and expand their business.
I knew I should have kept drinking.
And
I was gonna say, you don't go for the tasting, do you? Just,
Listen, these things are popping up all over the place. I mean,
Sure. After I have to quit drinking, they all pop up.
legal moonshine, whatever. So, and anything else, I mean, I haven't heard anything from the process or the casino or anything else. I will say that, I drove by the Concord the other day, and there's a lot of work being done over there. I mean, they moved a lot of dirt. And I have a sense of what that costs, so, boy, that's a lot of material that they're pushing around there, so that hopefully bodes well for what's gonna happen. I will say this, there are a lot of projects on the docket, and it's anything from workforce housing to other hotels, hotel water parks, retail, that have approached, preliminarily the towns, and I'm sure that, once this decision gets done, all of those things will start to liven up and hopefully, begin to move forward. So, and there's a lot of that wait and see, which is basically the way it's been for a while, but they're waiting to see what happens, and see if something happens. I'm sure we'll get a lot of activity. And so I've been talking to some people on planning boards and saying, listen, when this thing goes, it's gonna be very active. It's not gonna be 4 projects a month or 5, it's gonna be 40. Anything from, small housing developers to retail to the whole gamut. So we gotta be ready to respond to that. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You already have chocolate.
Yeah.
You got Brandenburg.
I know, but.
Somebody agreed.
Yeah. Roberta?
Things are just moving right along. We've been working well with our partners and moving forward, waiting for that great announcement, so we'll stay tuned. In the meantime, what we have done is we've had Brand USA here. We've done some filming for the international market, so Brand USA will start to bring that to the marketplace for us. We've had a few stories written recently, based on some of our writers coming through. Websites going through the roof for us, lots of new likes, lots of new traffic on there. We just completed a fall foliage photo contest, which truly did a great deal of, spurred a great deal of activity in all of our social networks. We're gonna do the same again for winter. We're working on a winter promotion with the state, bringing a country artist to this area, for our ski area and the area, so stay tuned. We're moving forward on that one and trying to coordinate with the state. Getting our guide together, we're gonna need to be out in January. We're already doing our show buys, already putting everything in place, because we need to have everything ready to go the minute everything hits. And the guides, we're out. We're gonna be out again, so it's time and we need to be there. So if you haven't had your information in, or if you wanna remind people in your communities to get their profiles and their updated information, I would appreciate that. We've been putting the mailings out, but a little more would be helpful.
We doing anything for hunting season to promote it?
We constantly keep that. It's a section in our guide. Unfortunately, it's difficult for me to put out the locations because a lot of them are private clubs here. But what we do is we carry the whole map in our guide and we update it and we keep that as a post up there and make sure we check in with the DEC on all of the different, yes.
Thank you.
Get all their updates. Actually, we're trying to work with them now on snowmobile trails too, to be a little more, activated and work with the clubs here so we can kind of get a little more of that season in full throttle.
Have you ever gone to a Sportsman's Federation meeting? Okay. Because maybe coordinating with them might help a little bit.
Yes, and yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roberta, could you just update on the Ag Task Force?
On our Ag Task
Yeah.
Force,
Agritourism Task Force?
we've been meeting with the people within our group. We did put up in a reprint of our Ag Farm Fresh Guide. We are participating in your county ag preservation plan. We've been at those.
Somebody
We've
sold.
hosted some of the meetings for that
crow
and
just
tried
went
to
by.
give our
Somebody
input,
sold.
as we did on the
You're
transportation
Native
components to it.
Native American.
And moving forward and trying to,
I'm not political.
work and do
Never was.
the catch grabs where we can to try to promote and move forward, but we've been,
It's
and
not a
remain,
little too
in all of those.
Thank you.
Laura?
One thing I had to add is that
Would you like-
the New York State Department of Labor released $1 million made available to local areas to apply for on-the-job training contracts. So much like we did with the last round of state funding, we're gonna be working with the partnership and the chamber, whatever, to get out to businesses to see how much of that money we can bring in for our local businesses to hire people. That's it.
That's
for now.
great.
We've got a couple of grant programs that are being launched this fall. We had a New York Main Streets Technical Assistance Small Grant awarded to us a while ago, which is exclusively for downtown Monticello. And that project is finally kicking off with meeting for eligible applicants next week, Wednesday the 12th. We'll be doing some aggressive marketing. I think there are only about 34 properties that are eligible for assistance, so we'll be aggressively reaching out and calling each of those property owners.
That's at 6 o'clock at the village, right?
Yes, yes.
It's-
Well, actually, I think it's been moved here. You know, as you might appreciate, changing personnel with the village has, sort of, you know, affected, you know, proceeding on this particular grant, so I think, I need to double check, but it might be at the Government Center, just,
Okay.
When is that, when is that?
Next Wednesday
Next Wednesday.
at 6 o'clock.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did see that, okay, never mind, I'm sorry.
For the grants? That's at the Village of,
Monticello TA grants.
Yeah, but I
As
thought it
Village of
said,
Monticello.
Yeah, but I
It's
thought we
basically
moved it here.
focusing on an area of Broadway,
I wasn't notified.
between Bank and Pelton Streets, about 34 properties eligible. We're, basically trying to spur interest in renovations to help people get, tenants into those buildings. The grants are simply for feasibility studies, looking at what they can do, you know, getting, design, engineering assistance. The next step would be to apply, go back to the state for funding for those, you know, for the actual improvements. And we're trying to make the grants, stretch a little farther by bringing in nicer energy programs into it too, because we know a lot of those properties have, you know, issues with heating. As Mark mentioned, we're also launching a micro enterprise assistance program. That's countywide. We have $200,000 from the USDA to provide low interest loans, about 2% loan for micro enterprises, with the provision that they undergo entrepreneurial training. So that training program will kick off after the new year. We're marketing the program now, and we're gonna have 2 informational meetings, one at the end of November and one in early December for businesses, and we're trying to get the word out aggressively to that as well. Other than that, we have, our plans, 2 plans are coming to, you know, toward conclusion. The ag plan that was mentioned, we had 2 meetings on Monday, one, the general public meeting for anyone to come out and hear about the plan and provide input. And we also had a specific meeting with, potential plan partners, the IDA, the college, Cornell Cooperative Extension, to really start focusing on, how are we gonna implement this thing when it comes out. And, we're looking to, the plan is up on the county website. We urge everyone to have a look at it. We're taking comments through November 15th, and then we'll turn it around to present a final draft, to the legislature, sometime in December.
Great. Good
Heather,
question.
could you update on the Village of Jeff Main Street grant program?
Sure, that was an application that went, to the CFAs, the last round. The CFAs have not been announced yet. We were expecting it prior to the election. We still don't have any word. And I did get your email on that. Jill and I have talked about it. What we're gonna do is go back to Colleen. Obviously, while we're waiting for News on the Main Street grant, we still have the micro enterprise, program, so we're gonna work with her to see if she can, pull interested applicants for that program that we have running now.
So you expect to hear soon about the SNIP then?
It's the state, kinda like the casino announcement. Hear what we hear.
okay.
Okay.
God bless us.
Before I open it to public comment, and I did this at the full board meeting last month, I want to thank all the agencies for helping in the positioning of Sullivan County in the casinos. I'd like to Mark and Roberta and Freda, and both Jen and Jennifer from the IDA, Kathy, Patty, Laura. We worked tens of hours getting the messaging right that I think put Sullivan County in the position that we have a shot at getting to. It's exciting. We're obviously gonna know, I think, certainly this month, and I can't wait till it's over. It's been 40 years coming, but really, that and the fact that the IDA and it, you know, after hiring the lobbyists, you know, last month I went back to the IDA board and asked them to support advertising after our presentations in Poughkeepsie. That really was, I felt, the tide turned where Sullivan County really did such a great job. We were head and shoulders compared to every other area in the Hudson Valley region, that we wanted to continue that, and they gave me another $50,000 with the other agencies kicking in 10% of that also. Now, every day there's ads on city, state, going to all the county elected officials in Albany, and we were really, we did an incredible job, and Sullivan County should be proud. And thank you to all the agencies. We really did a fabulous job.
I'd like to comment on that.
Yeah.
Roberta called me the other day, and I've had people call me from Albany, and the message we got is, your stuff is all over the place.
Yeah, they keep calling me, all my colleagues, and going, really, guys, you're all over the
So-
place
so
here,
it
which
is-
is good.
Which is a good segue to what I have to say. You should also thank NISAC, and especially the Committee on Native American Affairs and Gaming, which I'm a member of and Scott's a member of as well. I know I've lobbied every single county in the state at one point or another for our sites, so, but you should thank.
And I'm thanking you too.
Well, thank you, but you should thank NISAC
Yeah.
as well, because they help
You're
push it.
right. And that's critical, what you're doing, lobbying all the other, I mean, that is so critical to make sure we're in front of that all the time, because it worked. When we were in Poughkeepsie, very honestly, all the other locations added us like into the equation. It was like, yeah, we wanna do it in our area, but we wanna work with Sullivan too. It was like Sullivan was the base.
Well,
And I think a lot of that is from that.
I ran and raved at Mark Molinari, the county executive from Dutchess, because I had read the article in the paper where he was pushing for 2 in Orange County. And he was up at NISAC, and I yelled and screamed. And then when I got home from NISAC, there was an article in the paper where he was now pushing for 1 in Orange County and 1 in
With
Sullivan
Sullivan
County.
County, and that had a lot to.
So I called him and he said I scared the hell out of him.
But that's so critical and so important that we have that presence in Albany all the time on these issues that are so vital to us.
And it's also the way we did it. After Poughkeepsie, there were some comments made from other counties around us, making statements that were completely false, saying that we didn't have PLAs. We never attacked them. We just kept on presenting why we felt we were the best for both. And I think just the way, the messaging that we did was just, it was the right way to do it, and I think people realize that, and we do deserve it. And I think we're gonna be very successful, so. Okay, now public comment? Oh, Kitty, I'm sorry.
I just wanna congratulate the IDA on its new leader,
Oh, Steve, yeah.
so, congratulations.
Let's see how it works out.
No, I appreciate as well, he reached out.
Yeah. Okay, public comment? Yes, Star?
I was noticing in the report that the IDA put out about the continuing work on the proposals for the red meat facility, and I was wondering if they had incorporated any input from the animal welfare approved group. I think that was something that Cindy was asking about when she was talking about the operation portion of the facility. This is a group that will come and give a free, completely free presentation on operating a facility like this under the more humane and enlightened and possibly healthier standards of slaughter business. And I think this would be something that the committee would be very well, or the agency would be well versed on having them come in and make a presentation. Also about the networking with potential operators, is any of that networking going to the operators that were referred years ago by the Grandin group, Temple Grandin's group, or the animal welfare approved group that might provide an operator that would comply with their standards and make for a better red meat facility for both the farmers and for the consumers? I'd like to ask that be considered when you're talking about these other initiatives.
Thank you. Ben?
Yes. To me, there's one person missing from this room right now, and that's the college. Since they're they want to be a startup New York site, there should be a point person to be here and be in these discussions. Going from there, I have still an issue with them and what they're doing. The IDA gave them $5,000 originally to do a quick site plan, so to speak, for where they want to put it, which I still believe is the wrong place. They originally had a tech park that was better situated than that one there. and now they wanna spend $65,000 to flesh that out more. Since we own the land, I think we should be more involved in this process and have something to say about it, because if they're gonna be renting that land, they're gonna come back and look for agreements with the county for that land, and that is too far down the road to be making those decisions. We should be making those decisions now. At least with the tech park, it has access to water and sewer, much cheaper than where they wanna put it, which is basically bordering on wetland. And it'll cost a lot of money to pump that sewage uphill to the sewer plant. And when you talk about that, the other things you gotta be considering, just like what they do with housing developments, is the capacity of that plant to handle whatever they're doing. So I think number one is the college should be there, or a point person should be here at these discussions with you, and you should be able to ask questions. I think you really have to look at that whole process. The whole startup in New York is another issue with the fact they're gonna be tax-free. Now, the other thing that comes about, and this has to do with the IDA, and when they give tax exemptions, as I call them, when a entity winds up in a school district, they get the full benefit of whatever the agreement is as far as hopefully offsetting their tax rate. I think since there's gonna be giveaways, for lack of a better term, is that should be broken up among where people are housed, because you may have it in a town of Thompson, but people are gonna be living in the Fallsburg School District or Liberty School District. So one school district should not be the whole beneficiary of any tax break they may receive by a reduced tax rate. I think it should be shared, so more are gonna be sharing, and then when you have more people sharing, more people are gonna help for the pushing of things to be successful. And there's not gonna be less of this fighting of who's getting what, and it'd be more of a cohesive working together to get companies coming in here. Right now, the way it is one group will benefit and other people will be paying the tab. Thank you.
It's the law. What can I say?
Okay.
Any other?
Change the law.
Motion to adjourn?
Jean, Kathy.
Thank you, everybody.
Change the law.
Can you check if you have anything in November 6th?